How did a poor village girl disguised as a boy become the most powerful singer in the Arab world? And what made millions of families to stop everything once a month just to hear her sing? And was her rivalry with Asmahan a myth created by the media? And what made millions of people flood the street just to attend her funeral? This is the story of a powerful woman who defied social taboos, and prepare yourself to meet our singer Kulthum, whose story is as fascinating as her songs. And let's get started. Kulthum was born on 1904 in Nile Delta into a poor family. Her father was a village imam who sang religious songs in holidays and weddings to support the family. And from him, she learned how to sing, but there was a problem. At that time, public singing or religious singing was forbidden for a woman. So her father dressed her as a boy in disguise, and she started performing at weddings and religious celebrations. By the age of 7, people were already stunned by the strength of her voice, and she started to earn 10 piastres for a performance, half of her father's monthly salary. In the early 20s, her family moved to Cairo, the center of entertainment and emerging mass media in the Middle East. But Cairo saw them as rural and old fashioned. So Kulthum reinvented herself. She studied music and poetry, she learned from accomplished artists, and she observed elite society and redefined her manners. She slowly transitioned from village performer to sophisticated artist. In 1926, everything changed. She signed a contract with Gramophone Records, she stopped performing with her family chorus, and instead formed a professional taht, a seated ensemble of elite musicians. She changed her wardrobe, she shifted from religious music to poetry and modern compositions. And Cairo took notice. By the end of 1920s, she was one of the highest paid musicians in the city. In 1936, she starred in her first film Mudar. It was the first of 6 films. Through inexperience in acting, she had creative authority over her projects. Her films reflected romantic themes, moral justice, and Egyptian values. By the 1940s, her golden age, she had become unstoppable. Her concerts, broadcast live on the first Thursday of every month, became sacred ritual across the Arab world. For nearly 40 years, families gathered around radios to listen. Her songs, often written as short poems, would stretch into hour-long emotional journeys. Her ability to repeat and reinterpret single lines created something almost hypnotic. This was Tarab. By the time Asmahan entered the Egyptian music scene, Kulthum was already dominating, but critiques started whispering something dangerous. Asmahan might be the only voice that can rival her, and an industry built on prestige and power, that sentence alone is enough to create tension. They weren't fighting publicly, but they were competing silently. Two different schools of art, Kulthum, long classical composition, emotional control, authority, Asmahan, shorter cinematic songs, Western influence, and emotional fluidity. Their personalities couldn't have been more different. Kulthum built herself carefully, every move calculated, every appearance controlled. She came from humble beginnings, climbed step by step. As man, she was born into aristocracy. She lived dramatically, rumors of espionage, love affairs, political games, where Kulthum represented discipline. Asmahan represented unpredictability, and the press loved it. The media amplified every comparison, every comment, every every glance, but here's the truth. There's no solid proof of a dramatic confrontation between them. No public insults, no confirmed direct attacks, just tension and perception. Then in 1944, Asmahan died in a mysterious car accident at 31. And that's when the rivalry became legend. When someone dies young, they don't just leave, they become myth. Conspiracy theories exploded. Some even tried to connect Kulthum to industry politics. But there's zero evidence supporting those claims. The rivalry grew bigger after Asmahan's death because unfinished stories are more powerful than completed ones. So, was there a beef? Not in the way people imagine. There was competition, there was comparison, there was tension, but mostly there were two extraordinary women who represented two different futures of for Arab music. One lived long enough to build an empire, the other left before we could see what she would become. Kulthum was more than a singer, she became a symbol of national identity. She sang for Egyptian independence. She supported Jamal Abdel Nasser. One of her songs became Egypt's national anthem from 1960 to 1979. After Egypt's defeat in the Six Day War in 1967, she toured the Arab world, donating her concert earnings to the Egyptian government. She had a diplomatic passport. She served as a president of the Musicians Union. She was not just an artist, she was an ambassador. Her voice carried patriotism, religion, literature, and collective emotion. Health problems followed her most of her life. Eye issues forced her to wear heavy sunglasses, which later became part of her iconic image. Even as her health declined in the 50s and 60s, she continued performing. In 1954, she married one of her doctors. In 1967, she performed in Paris, her first major performance outside the Arab world. But age and illness caught up with her. On February 3, 1975, Kulthum died of heart failure. The funeral was historic. Over 4 million people filled the streets of Cairo. The only funeral larger in Egyptian history was that of President Nasser. To her admirers, she was almost sacred. Biographies often portrayed her with reverence, friendly criticism. But scholars like Ratib al-Hifni later explored more complex aspects of her life, her professional rivalries, her strong control over composers, her alleged secret marriage to journalist Mustafa Amin, her complicated relationship with composer Muhammad al-Kassabi. These discussions remind us of something important. Kulthum was not a myth. She was a human, brilliant, strategic, strong willed, a woman navigating power, politics, art, and fame in a transforming society. She recorded over 300 songs and transformed music from elite entertainment into public culture. And even after decades of her death, her records still sell and her museum stands in Cairo. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had fun. And if you have anything to add, don't hesitate, add it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.